Hi, Andrew here. And it seems that with the application of enough pain, even an organism as stupid as an environmentalist can learn. What am I talking about? Well, I'm not talking about moderate levels of pain. I mean, your average environmentalist is dumber than a flatworm. Flatworms can be trained with the proper application of pain, but it takes a lot more pain to educate an environmentalist than it does to educate a flatworm. I mean, look at Scotland. They're clear-cutting forests to put up windmill farms. They're going to save the environment by cutting down CO2 absorbing trees and putting up CO2 using windmills, or as I like to call them, bird blenders. Let's cut down the habitat for the birds and the critters and put up great big ugly monstrosities that actually use more power than they ever generate over their lifetimes to kill the birds. They're doing it. Now, obviously, the Scottish environmentalists haven't had enough pain. Now, the bird blending farms in England and I believe Spain were eventually decommissioned. And there are lawsuits over the northwestern U.S., Wyoming maybe? Farmers or fields, landowners have leased these their lands to the power companies to put up their bird blender farms. And now they've got lawsuits because they're not being properly maintained. They're splattering lubricants all over the fields, which renders them toxic. The blades are falling off, chunks are falling off, and they're not generating power. And they only make any money, the landowners, when the bird blenders are actually generating power. And for some reason, they're upset. Well, you were stupid enough to lease your lands to environmentally stupid bird blender farms. Not a lot of sympathy for you, but they're learning. Your average environmental weirdo who thinks that electric cars are a good idea, well, look up my rant on those. We don't have the proper power generation, we don't have the proper power distribution, and we don't have the proper power storage. The batteries suck. They use incredibly toxic heavy metals, but of course that takes the pollution away from, wealthy white countries to poor brown and black countries, and it's okay if those darkly colored, darkly hued people, it's okay if they have cancer and birth defects in their babies and child slave labor in the mines and all that. That's okay, because wealthy white people can virtue signal about their Prius. Oh, and it's okay when the brown country cuts down a rainforest to dig out the copper to make the wires to distribute or to run the bird blenders and the distribution. It's okay, because it's not hurting our environment. Well, I think Scotland clear-cutting forests to put up these monstrosities, that's hurting your environment. But again, I'm not even talking about that. No. One of the homes of the modern green movement is Germany. And as a man with a certain amount of German ancestry, the Germans can be a stubborn folk. German environmentalists are stupid and stubborn. And they were gonna shut down the nuclear power plants. Why? Because they're stupid. I thought I already covered that. What is the CO2-free source of energy? Oh, that's right. Nuclear power plants. They had 6. 3 of them have been shuttered. Then Mr. Putin, let's go back a step. And do you remember a few years ago when Agent Orange in the White House told the Germans that they were making themselves too dependent on Russia for their natural gas supplies, for their energy supplies, and they would come to regret it. And all the super genius German dipshits in the background, Agent Orange, he's such an idiot. Guess what? They have record-breaking prices for power, for cost of natural gas. They're stockpiling firewood to heat their homes. They're planning on turning public arenas and things into warming stations for people who are freezing to death. I guess old Agent Orange Trump was right about something. He was right about a number of things, but he was particularly right about this. And the German idiots, we have a source of electricity that produces no CO2 emissions, produces no pollution. Let's shut it down. That's a great idea, isn't it? Oh, we don't have any natural gas. Russia's cut our supplies by 80%. I know, let's convert our natural gas plants back to coal, because that's not going to put as much CO2 in the atmosphere. And let's continue to plan to shut down our nuclear power plants. Are you getting a theme here? European Greens are morons. Like, they are really fucking stupid. There's a fella out in San Francisco who wrote a book called San Francisco. Michael Schellenberg, I think is his name. He was a big part of the movement to keep Germany's nuclear plants online. 6 years ago when he started this, the preponderance of German opinion was shut them down. Now, the preponderance of German opinion is keep them open for 50 years to forever. And reports have come out. They're not shutting them down as planned in December. They've suddenly discovered, with Putin shutting the gas taps off, that they're in for a world of hurt. Just as Mr. Trump warned them they would be. Isn't Agent Orange so stupid? Well, he was right this time. Putin and his war and the sanctions and all of that, and suddenly there's no gas. German industry is on the verge of collapse. They can't open up the coal-fired plants that they were planning to because I think it's the Rhine River is too low to barge the coal up. And they've decided to keep their nuclear power plants open. With sufficient application of pain, an organism even stupider than a flatworm, even stupider than Doug Fascist Flatworm Ford, with sufficient application of pain, they could learn a lesson. And they did. And so let us raise a glass, give a cheer, a round of applause for the German greenie weenies. Enough pain was applied, and they're keeping the greenest energy source in existence open. Now the next step, take the 3 plants you mothballed and restart them. Thanks for watching. That was my time. Now is your time. And in the meantime, smack a greenie weenie in the head. Maybe he'll learn something. Take care of yourself, and you'll see me soon.